Hi, I'm Marty Nemko. You're spending time, probably money and emotional energy on counseling, whether psychotherapy or career counseling, personal coaching, whatever. And yeah, choosing a well-suited counselor matters. And I've previously talked to you about how to do that. You may Google that, choosing a counselor and the name Nemko, and you'll find it. But making the most of your counselor can be at least as important. And the following tips hopefully will help. And for conciseness' sake, I'll use the term counseling to include the full range of talk with a professional that's aimed at improving some aspect of your life. First, write your counselor a letter. If your counselor doesn't have you complete a thorough new client questionnaire in advance of your first session, I recommend you write him or her a letter describing who you are, your strengths, your weaknesses, what you're hoping to accomplish in working with the counselor, how directive you'd like the counselor to be, and any other tips on working successfully with you. That's going to be valuable both to you and the counselor. Just the act of writing is going to usually be elucidating to yourself. And because the ideas were your own, they're likely to be on target as well as empowering of yourself. Ask if you can record sessions on your phone. Some of my clients say that listening to the session is more valuable than the session itself. That's because there's no pressure to say or behave in a way that's going to please the counselor, because you can replay part or all of the recording as many times as you want. You can listen to yourself, which gives you the opportunity to self-assess, and by hearing it a second time, it helps the lessons of the session penetrate. Give feedback early and often to the counselor. When the counselor says or does something or uses an approach that's particularly helpful or not, say so on the spot. Start doing that right away from the beginning, first session. So, for example, let's say the counselor starts with, tell me about yourself, or what brings you here today. And let's say you have a tendency to be long-winded and discursive, but you just don't know when to stop. So the counselor interrupts you after, say, 2 minutes, distills what you said, and asks a focusing question. Now, if you found that helpful, say so. For example, I'm really glad you interrupted and refocused me. I could have gone off on an irrelevant tangent forever. Conversely, let's say the counselor lets you keep going, keep talking. It's now 10 or 15 minutes later, and you find yourself wishing the counselor had interrupted and focused you. Say so. Be honest, quite honest. One of counseling benefits is that you're free to say what you're thinking and feeling with less self-censoring than in other settings. Of course, counselors are human, and in private, like all of us, they're judgmental. But you need to take the risk of candor early. If you don't like the response, politely say so, and listen to what the counselor says. Maybe the counselor is wise in being critical of you. But if not, and especially if it continues and you feel too great a lack of trust in that counselor, it may be time to terminate the relationship. Ask for and do homework. Many counselors give homework, but if yours doesn't, you'll derive more pleasure from each pleasure. Maybe pleasure, but certainly more benefit from each session if the two of you agree on an appropriate assignment. It's usually most beneficial for that homework to include listening to the recording in the first day or two after the session, so there's plenty of time for you to incorporate its benefits before the next session. In addition, it's usually wise for the homework to include something else. Maybe it's to try out a behavior, such as being more positive or negative at work, or something internal, for example, distracting yourself to a positive thought as soon as an unfixable worry enters your consciousness. Or read a book, or article, or book chapter, or watch a video on the topic you're working on, or write in your journal about the topic. And finally, end the relationship when you feel it's right, when it's right for you. Don't just default to the counselor. Most counselors' goal is to get you, quote, done as quickly as is appropriate. But as human beings, some of them may, if only subconsciously, unreasonably slow the pace of sessions or keep you coming when it would be wiser to suggest less frequent sessions, a break, or permanently ending the counseling. Those actions needn't be financially motivated on the part of the counselor. It could simply be because the counselor enjoys working with you, or probably more often, that the counselor believes he or she is proceeding as rapidly as is wise. But if you don't think so, at least raise the issue. And again, listen thoughtfully to the response, and then you, Mr. or Ms. CEO of your own life, you make the decision. In any event, I do thank you for watching. I'm Marty Nemko. I welcome your thumbs up and accept your thumbs down. I always look forward to your comments and love it if you hit the share button, share on your social media so my work has greater impact, and or subscribe to my channel. In any event, I do thank you for watching. I am Marty Nemko.